particularly at the cinema because I usually tend to fall asleep. And so then it ends up being a really expensive nap.
Yeah, so I assume that you haven't seen the new Top Gun.
I have not, but I have heard about it from some of my students.
Anywhere you go, anywhere you go, you belong.
Hello. Oh, I cannot hear you, I think.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Yeah, it was
That's better.
just yeah. I just had to press the button.
Okay, perfect. And I'm sorry for being late. I'm not sure if you got my message, but I was having, I don't know, some problems with my computer.
Yeah,
Which,
yes, I've seen your message. I answered.
okay, I didn't have a chance to look because I got back on and I saw you were calling. So I just came straight into the class.
That's not a big deal. But it's good to meet you, Carrie.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. And your name is Lago? Is that right?
It's almost this. Yeah, almost. Most of the tutors mispronounce my name because it's not with an L, it's with an I. It's
I thought I
Iago.
was Iago. Okay, I thought that it might have been an I because it didn't look like an uppercase L, but I'm not sure. So,
Yeah. Let me ask you something. How's the sound of my mic? Is it too loud? It's normal.
no, it's perfect there. Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And so, what can I help you with today?
Yeah. I would like to talk about something that I was planning to. Let me ask you a question first. Do you like to go out and watch movies at the cinema, on the cinema?
Not particularly at the cinema because I usually tend to fall asleep. And so then it ends up being a really expensive nap.
Yeah. So I assume that you haven't seen the new Top Gun.
I have not, but I have heard about it from some of my students.
Yeah, and I think that you wouldn't sleep in the during the movie because the sound was uh, very loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of sounds of jets.
Okay, I have seen like the first Top Gun. I think it's got Tom Cruise in it. Is that right? Or am I thinking of somebody
Yeah,
else?
he's getting old, but he's still a good actor.
Okay, nice. And I did hear that it was a really really good movie. So I'm assuming that you went and saw it. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I've seen the movie 2 weeks ago. I really enjoy it, but the media here in Brazil uh, is not uh, they they have complaints about it uh, because kind of the movie worships the masculinity and testosterone of the guys.
Yeah, and I know in
What
like
do you think? What do you think about it? The media complaining about movies and these kind of things.
well, like in terms of like the whole like masculinity thing, like so I'm living in Thailand right now, and I have a boyfriend here, and so he's from Myanmar, and so all of his friends are too, and so the way that I see them interact with each other, versus guys in North America interacting with each other is very different. Like these guys are a lot more comfortable with each other, like laying on each other and things like that. Like they're very, very comfortable with each other. Whereas if if guys did that in like the US or Canada, they might be like belittled for being gay or
They
something
would
along
they
those
would be
lines.
considered soft.
Yeah, yeah, but I really admire that they can be that comfortable with each other because girls do the same thing and people don't look at us and say, "Oh, they must be lesbians." So it's as human beings, I think, we do crave touch and things like that. And so to have that support from, your friends is really important. And I do, agree that there definitely is like some of this whole toxic masculinity that, a guy cannot cry otherwise, he's a baby or something like that. But
Yeah,
men are,
I agree with you. Uh, Men can cry, but uh, I think that you would not like to get along with a person, with a boyfriend who is very feminine, who don't have the qualities of a real guy.
yeah, well, like, I actually do enjoy when I see like a guy cry because I think that's like they're really in tune with their emotions and feeling their emotions. Um,
Pint of emotions.
yeah. Um, Sorry?
A pint of emotions, or a lot.
Well, like, I wouldn't want my boyfriend to be like crying more than I do. Not that I cry a lot, but you know what I mean. Um, but if there's something, to obviously be upset about, I wouldn't expect for my boyfriend to try and put on a strong face so that he didn't cry in front of me or something like that. Like, I feel like if your family member just died, for example, like you can't be like, oh, I gotta be strong through this because that's like a very hard thing to go through. If he was crying because something broke or something like that, that might be, like it might be a bit too sensitive.
Would you like to be with a guy who is more emotional than you?
I don't know about that because
Do you
I'm
know
not
do
a
you know do you know any relationship next to you that's kinda how it works?
trying to think of like my friends and their crazy boyfriends that I never liked. I don't know. Like I'm not a very emotional person, so I wouldn't want to be with someone who's like, a lot more emotional than me. But at the same time, like, I don't know, I've been seeing a lot about like how, like we just went through the COVID, the whole pandemic, and I'm sure that that's really messed up a lot of people's mental health. I know I have issues from mental health that I didn't have before the pandemic. And it's,
So yeah, you mean that you're a different person uh, back and
yeah.
then.
Go ahead.
Uh, what what did change for you?
For myself, like I have a lot more like social anxiety than I did before the pandemic. So if I have to like meet new people or even be around like a lot of people that I do know, like I do get like I don't know how to behave. I get a lot of anxiety about those kinds of
Did
things.
you get locked at home all the pandemic?
No, actually, like compared to many, many people, I was very blessed during the pandemic in that I had a pretty regular life. Before COVID started, I was working as a barber, but I had quit that job to come to Thailand for a holiday for 2 months, and then COVID happened when I was here. So when I returned back to Canada, I just continued to take a little bit of a break off of work, but then I was able to go and work with my sister. And so then I was just working with my family at that point, which was nice because I didn't have to deal with the public at all, or really worry about dealing with anybody who might have COVID.
Let me tell you something, Carrie. What's the difference between a barber and a salon? The salon for women and a barber for men. So do you work with men?
I was working as a barber cutting men's hair, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you prefer cutting men's hair than women's?
Yes, girls are crazy when it comes to their hair. Like, you know, you could tell them you're taking an inch and you take an inch and they feel like you've cut this much off their hair.
Ela partiu, partiu e nunca mais voltou.